Hello, how are you doing today? I wanted to come to you today because I was recently reading an article that may have something that could impact you, your future. I was reading this article about Goldman Sachs, and it was saying that because of the pandemic, they had stopped laying off their employees. And starting in September of this year, 2022, they would be go ahead and reinstating that, and they would be letting go 1 to 5% of their employees. It depends on your performance if they'll be releasing it. They don't know, they don't have a full idea on how many employees they'll be letting go, but it will be anywhere between 1 to 5% of their current staff. I did a little bit more digging, a little bit more research, and I actually found that a Forbes list that was printed and released on September the 12th this year that stated that there's a list of companies who will also be doing the same thing and getting rid of or firing, letting go, giving severance packets to their employees. Some of the names you may know is Warner Brothers, who is the parent company for like CNN, the Discovery Channel, HBO. Warner Brothers, they will be letting go a lot of their advertisement team. So a lot of the office jobs, back office jobs, they'll be letting those people go. Ford actually said that it was getting rid of 3,000 of their office and contractor staff. So if you're an office lady, you might need to update that resume. The third one is Apple. They said that they had laid off all of their contractors and they had decided to slow down their hiring process for the remaining of the year going into the first quarter of next year. 22, that they'll be letting us go, let us go. So reading this article, it made me think about how we don't know what's going to happen in our day-to-day life. Like, we don't know what will happen today. We don't know what will happen tomorrow, meaning that we should be prepared for our future. We should be prepared for what could happen because we don't know what will happen. And it got me thinking about in 2018, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And during this process of getting my diagnosis, I had to go to like different doctors. I was hospitalized a couple of times. And during this time, I was still employed. Well, my employer started to act a little funny, and because I was paying attention to the things that were being said in meetings and the way they were treating me, I started to store food. I started to store not only food, I started to store like laundry detergent, cleaning products, water, toilet paper, because I wanted to make sure that if something happened to my job, that my partner didn't have to cover everything, including the bills and the things that we needed also, that was she was also covering. So I had to make sure that I started to store this stuff to make sure that my family was prepared just in case something happened. In 2019, and I was hospitalized. And when I got hospitalized, they advised me that I no longer had any paid time, sick time, and everything would have to be unpaid. But in that aspect also, I wasn't able to take out money from my 401k because I was technically on FMLA. So I had to quit that job because I can't not be getting paid because I don't have any more sick time or vacation time, and I can't take money out of a savings account that I set up for just in case an emergency was to happen. So I had to quit my job so that I could make sure that my family was provided for. This made me see that as a mother, as a magical sister, that things are happening around us when we really take time to sit down and think about it. Now, I'm not the next Miss Cleo, but I can see that there is something brewing and there is something happening, and that we should take this time to start to prepare for whatever that may be. Like, because we don't know, we need to prepare for that. So one of the first things that you need to do is you need to start to work on your financial and your money mindset, meaning learning about where your thoughts, where your spending habits, where your viewpoints on money actually stem from. Taking that time to figure out, why do you spend everything that you earn? Why don't you save? Why is it hard for you to save? Taking that time out to really learn where your financial mindset is coming from, your spending, your monthly budget, your monthly spending, because you want to know where you need to learn how to start to cut back on some purchases. We don't know if there's going to be a recession. Inflation is crazy. Have you seen the prices of gas? Like, all of this stuff, it takes away from the normal things that we're used to doing. So we have to reevaluate our budgets and relook at some of our spending choices and our spending habits and our purchase choices to see what is it that we can eliminate, so that if, heaven forbid, anything happens to your employment, you know what you can cut out. You know that you've already started to cut these things out, and you know that you already have started the process of starting to save for this emergency. You want to start to look for some additional ways to make money. Side hustle, like everybody says. So what are some things that maybe you could teach someone else? And I'm not talking about like going out and finding 30 different things that you can teach. What is one thing that you know? So think about, what is it that you do for work? So whatever it is that you do for your job, they took time to train you on this. What are some of the things that you can take from the training of your current employer and make it so that you can make it into a side hustle? Me, I used to work in the bank, so now I teach financial education to other people because I understand how the bank works. I look at, some of the things and some of the practices that they put in and implemented, and I take those and I teach you how, number one, to avoid some of the things like fees and stuff like that, or number two, how to use it as a benefit, like investing and saving. So what is it that you have training or skill or knowledge or a hobby that you can take and teach it to other people, so it can bring you some additional income that you're not going to spend because you don't need it right now to survive, but additional income for you to be able to build and to grow with and to invest. And then the last thing is, you want to update your resume. Now, nobody wants to think about the application process for finding a new job or anything like that, but there is one benefit that actually comes out of updating your resume, and that is you get to see the skills that you have, and you get to see the knowledge that you've obtained since the last time you filled out this resume. Say either you're going to pay me more for what I've learned over this time, I'm going to find a new job that can help me with these skills that I've learned. So you can take the stuff that you have put on your resume once you update it, and it help brush the dirt off your shoulders, give you a little bit more confidence when it's time for you to actually either step out and find a new position, or, like I said, something does happen and you need more income. You've already started the legwork of making sure that your resume is updated. And I just want everybody to remember, like, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I don't want anybody to be afraid. I don't want any of that. I want you to be prepared for what may happen. There is a lot of talk right now about a recession, and we see the rates that are happening within, like the Fed rates going up. We see inflation going up. So we see these things that are happening just around us, not just in the job market, but also in the housing market. We see it in the stock market. We see that there's a war happening right now. We see that there's change in government in certain places. We see that there was supply shortages, there were shipment shortages, the crates was sitting up there for months. Like, we see this. We see the news that says that their cows are dying, there's no water, Lake Mead is receding. Like, we see everything that is happening around us. We can't avoid what is happening. We see this stuff is brewing, so we have to make sure that we're prepared and we're mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared for whatever may happen. And we don't want to be afraid, and we don't want to live our life in fear, but we want to live our life prepared, because if we're ready, we don't have to get ready. We stay ready. You didn't think that in 2020, like, everybody in the world, not just your house, the world was on punishment. Like, everybody. So if you weren't prepared for that, you have to understand that anything now can happen in this world. So you have to be prepared for what could happen, even if it doesn't. So taking this time to sit down, to prepare your mindset, is so essential when making sure that you are building generational wealth. When you are trying to make sure that your children are prepared for the future, sitting down and taking a look at yourself, your finances, and everything is important. So I want you to come and join us either in the Real Magical Sisters or on Real Urban. Just come and join us so that you can retire and you can have all of the things that you want in your future. May it be going on vacation every 4 months. May it be, being able to have the latest car, whatever it may be, home ownership, putting your kids through school, whatever it is. You starting the process now to start to prepare for whatever may happen is how we build on what we need and how we build a thriving and successful community. Talk to you ladies later.